Welcome to Artwork, a professional development program about working in the visual arts in Atlantic Canada. I'm Sarah Jones, the curator at Jones Gallery in St. John, New Brunswick. Today on digital strategies for visual artists, social media, and choosing a social media platform. In an earlier video, we talked about the 3 principles that should guide your digital strategy. So if you recall, those are professionalism, purpose, and consistency. And it is so important, it's vital really, to apply these principles to social media especially, to be emphatically professional, purposeful, and consistent. Otherwise, social media can become unwieldy and overwhelming. And I know so many of you feel overwhelmed already by the choices and demands and expectations of social media. The good news is, as I mentioned in an earlier video, that you don't have to do everything. If a platform does not work for you or your audience isn't there, you don't have to use it. As I said, you need to know the exact purpose of a tool or activity. Why are you on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or TikTok? Who are you talking to on there, and are they listening? Is it actually helping you and your career in a specific way? And you can't do everything, or at least it's really hard to do everything well, especially if you're the only one managing all of the accounts. Who is your audience and where can you find them? This is such an important question, and we artists are incredibly bad at answering this sometimes. So we say sometimes, who is my audience? And we're like, the world, like everyone is my audience. My art is for everyone. And the truth is that it's not, it's really not. Not that many people care about you and your work. There will always be people who are just not interested in you. You can't conflate accessibility with audience. So your work can be accessible to everyone, or accessibility can be something that you care about. And that's, I think, what artists really mean when they say, my audience is everyone. But this vagueness is actually a disservice to you and your practice. So who exactly buys your work, purchases tickets, shares your news, comes to your exhibitions, cares about your career and wants to work with you, provides you with opportunities? Who are these people? What are their values and what do they care about? Where are they? What social media platforms do they use? Some examples to elucidate my point here. Let's go back to our fictional pastry shop from earlier videos. So let's say we have a pastry shop in Charlottetown, PEI. Who is our audience for this pastry shop? Well, people in Charlottetown, probably not people in Halifax. That's too far away to buy a pastry, right? So we're dealing with a local audience, local clientele. And we're also probably not doing a ton of like business to business work. This is a highly business to consumer type of structure here. So Facebook might work really well because that's good for local audience. Maybe Instagram because your pastries are beautiful and you post every day at 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. like clockwork to make everybody really hungry. LinkedIn probably isn't going to be so relevant for you, and Twitter, maybe not so much either. But if you're, on the other hand, an independent professional curator, let's say, and you curate at institutions and artist-run centers across Canada, local audience and broad consumer base aren't so important in this instance, so just forget about Facebook. LinkedIn might be useful because you're often working with institutional staff or executive directors or other arts professionals. If you also publish a lot, Twitter might be really good for you, connecting with other writers and journalists. And I mean, maybe Instagram, because again, Instagram works well because we're in the visual arts. We have a Newfoundland-based artist here at the gallery named Mike Goff, and you can read an interview with Mike and his digital practices on the downloadable guide that comes with this webinar. And his paintings deal with landscape and how it relates to nostalgia and memory. It resonates so well with Newfoundland diaspora and really anyone from Atlantic Canada who is missing home and feels nostalgic for the East Coast. And what's the first thing you do when you're away from home? You follow a bunch of accounts on Instagram that remind you of home, that remind you of the East Coast. And so Instagram is the perfect platform for Mike Goff. And that may be the only platform that he needs to connect with his audience. He may not need Facebook. He may not need Twitter. Here at the gallery, we have a local audience. We have a physical shop here, so we rely heavily on Facebook. And again, we're in the visual arts, so Instagram has been a really good fit for us. Who is your audience and where can you find them? In the next few videos, we'll be talking about strategies that can apply more or less to all social media platforms. We'll give examples and talk specifically sometimes about Facebook and Instagram. They'll probably be the most relevant and useful platforms for most of you. For more specifics about all the available platforms and how to go about choosing one over the other, for that you need to do your own research. There are endless resources online all about these platforms. Take advantage of those. Test a platform out. If you like it, great. If you find your audience there, great. Leave it if it doesn't work for you and your practice. You can also ask your audience where they spend their time. That's a fair question to ask of your colleagues and your clients. Thank you for watching. We'd like to thank Canada Council for the Arts for supporting artwork, and we'll see you again soon.